Hi, welcome back. This is Juanica Thomas in my Hero's Journey. And so today we're going to talk about meeting with the mentor. And so in this series, I'd like to share the story of how I ended up going back to church. So I was going to church around 2003 until we moved into our house. And from that point on, I didn't really go to my church anymore. I had ended up trying to please my husband because we were having issues, and religion and talking about God really did stir some heated arguments and frustrating battles. So I was settling as far as not settling for trying to have peace in my home instead of doing the things that I know I was supposed to do as far as my walk with God. But the amazing thing is that God just really brought an amazing person and people after her into my life. I had a neighbor, her name was Debbie, and she was an awesome praying warrior. Oh my gosh, she was amazing. And so one day I had my second son, and she asked me, she's like, would you like to go to church with me? And so ultimately did go, and it was during the worship part where I just felt this big weight, feel like it released off my chest. And I didn't even realize that that was there until it had released. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how long had I been carrying that? And so I knew from that moment I needed to go back to church. I needed to have a relationship with God. I needed to be in His presence. And so I did start doing that. I started going back to church at Kings Park, and it wasn't met without opposition. I did have some opposition that tried to keep me from moving in that direction, but I continue to go forward in it. And also, there was God. Once I had that moment, God started moving in my life as far as speaking to me in my dreams. One morning, I had woken up from a dream where I had pitched this amazing design opportunity to a company, and involving shoes. And I hadn't thought of design or fashion since I was a little girl, which I mentioned in my previous video. And I hadn't drawn anything either since I was in high school. So the fact that I woke up with these images in my head and I just started writing them down, and I wrote out everything that happened, something sparked in me where I was like, I want to start a business. I want to be a fashion designer. I want to be a stylist as far as shoes, and just create my own clothing line. And eventually it'll branch out into jewelry and accessories. And I just was on fire. I got to do this. And so I told my husband at the time, and I was just like, I wanna do this. We need to figure out how I can make this happen. And it wasn't met with the most enthusiastic response, but I didn't let it stop me. And I started moving into researching and trying to figure out what to do. But at one moment, it was just I felt God telling me, wait. I had gotten everything together. I had gotten my name for the business, gotten everything started to get registered. Everything was ready to go. Paperwork was signed and notarized. But all of a sudden, I just felt this feeling that I needed to wait. I was just like, okay. And so I did. That was in 2006. Little did I know I was about to go through a major life transition. I ended up separating and divorcing my ex-husband. And, everything that I had known, everything that was comfortable and, known and familiar to me was gone out the window. And, that was when I started getting reawakened to my passions as far as modeling, something that I had never tried to do when I was young, but I wanted to. I started back writing again. I wrote my first poem in 2009 when I had moved out and got into my first apartment. And it was just all of this stuff is just starting to pour into me. And the one thing I told God, I said, if you help me overcome this issue that I had that brought me into this marriage that was very hurtful and I didn't feel like it was loving, help me so that I don't go back into another relationship of the same magnitude. Help me to where I can be secure in myself and confident in what you've made me to be. Because my aunt, she gave me this scripture, Psalms 139:14, which says, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." And when she said that to me, something in me broke. And I realized that I hated myself. I didn't love myself. And that was the instrument that was used to keep me from moving forward, from trying, from even like wanting to do the things that I felt in my heart I should be doing. So, you know, it was at that point in 2009 that my transition just really just dramatically shot up. And I also made a promise to God. I said, if you heal me of these things, I will share my story so that whoever hears it that needs to be impacted will be impacted, so they don't do the same mistakes that I made or go down that path that I went down. That if it could save one person, then I feel like I've done enough. And so with that, I just want to bring you on into the next chapter, which is crossing the threshold. And that's going to be amazing. But I'll see you in the next video of Crossing the Threshold in my hero's journey. Again, this is Juanica Thomas. Talk to you later.